Hello, my name is Robert Janne, and this is the Walking Podcast. So, technically, it's not a walking podcast today, it's more a working podcast. Um, it's this story is about just this great experience of manual work, and that's why I call this more the working podcast than the walking podcast. As I'm not walking really while recording this story now, but doing manual work on a field, on a beautiful um, olive field, olive trees field in Portugal, a woofing experience. So working on an organic farm, and I myself, I I for my entire life I was just a city person, really. I grew up in a city. I spent most of my life in a city without having really experienced manual work a lot, such as working on a farm, for example. And now I took this opportunity in my life that I I I engaged in sustainability theoretically a lot in the course of my study program, and but I felt like there was something missing to it. That in the sense that I was only thinking about sustainability and uh, thinking about concepts and designing systems in which people can live more sustainably, or which we as humanity become more sustainable, treating the planet in a better way, um, without actually, going to the ground and just experiencing um, and looking at how people already live more sustainably. And while there are certainly many concepts and worldviews on this whole topic, what sustainability actually means, um, I feel like there's these two dominant ones. One being the paradigm of we just need better technology. Technology will fix our severe problems. In contrary or in contrast to the one which is, let's just maybe go a step back, um, rethink how we used to do things a couple of decades ago or centuries ago, and trying to bring back these concepts and ideas and adapt them and apply them in our contemporary lives. And I'm I'm very curious about this place in between both paradigms. Is there a connection between both worlds, and how does it look like? Um, you know, the people I talk to and my friends and family, when they heard that I want to do this woofing experience and just takes a couple of months really to step out of my system of being and trying something totally different, they thought a bit I was crazy. Why would I do that? I completed my study degree and I could have just pursued a career somewhere being a consultant or maybe an academic or um but instead I decided no. And it was a big step, taking the courage sometimes in your life to step out and to pause for a moment and reflect on where you are in life and what other opportunities you might actually have to develop yourself. So, and these people actually then say, what you're trying to do or what you're trying to promote here is just like going back to medieval times. And who in society would want that? Why, being used to this standard of living, um, and the vast availability of consumption of goods, products, services. Why would we voluntarily want to give them up and get back to a different life that is very close to what we had in the 15th or 16th century. And I feel like there's a misconception. There's uh, trying to live a more simple life doesn't necessarily have to, mean that you abstain from all technological developments, but maybe use them in a um, more conscious way, and really starting to think, to ask that question: when do I really, really need a certain technology, or when do I really, really need to consume this certain service or product, or is there a way I could do that, for example, in a more simple way? Can I do that myself? Can I rely on my community to do that together? And just these, I'm not in this Woofing project for a long time, just a couple of days, but it's this great experience of a different value set. It's a different way of achieving things that need to be done, relying much more on on the community and spending time differently, and spending time spending probably more time um, in the proximity of other people and sharing not only labor but moments and experiences. So what do I want to tell with that story? Maybe just that um, there is a there can be a different life, and for many people like me, like you, listening to the story, who live in cities and who feel like there is just no other way. Mm, I'm pretty sure there is, and I encourage just everyone to maybe take this courage and take a break moment and experience a different lifestyle for a couple of weeks, and even if you then return to your city, to your previous way of living, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't mean just because you're doing this, you will end up in a community somewhere in the rural area. But yeah, I believe we need people who then go back to the city and try to integrate some of these concepts that that are more and more developing and evolving in the rural areas and eco villages and in transitional projects. How can we bring them back and feed them back into the city? Because we cannot stop cities from existing. I mean, they're just there, and there's this huge lock-in into and path dependency into city life, and it there's also many merits from being in a city, um, many merits when it comes to sharing of resources. So we should just acknowledge that cities can be a great opportunity. Mm, but maybe, and that's maybe what I hope for, and that what I also would like to try is, can we bring back concepts from rural areas, from eco villages, to pace down city life? Because eventually, what it comes down to me, um, living in a city, is often this pace and speed at which we do things, through which we end up doing them very unconsciously and without this needed awareness of being in a good connection to nature and other people. So this is maybe something to think about for me, maybe for you, is that when we try to live our good life in the city, um, is it maybe very valuable to just take a moment, experience a different worldview, a different paradigm, and just allow ourselves to maybe bring them back into our normal lives and share them with other people living in the cities who never had this opportunity to just go out and experience something totally different. So, my name is Robert Oshana. I'm signing on from the Walking or Working podcast from today. Um, I wish you a beautifully sunny day, such as I do experience it right now, standing on this hill, looking at beautiful olive trees on this field, and allowing the sun to just energize me, and taking this energy into the next days and trying to inspire many more people and share and collaboratively thinking about a better way of living and being. So I hope that this was somehow valuable to you, and I hope that you will experience also many great moments in this week, and I hope to hear back from you. Thank you and goodbye.